All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining the online ESS training. My name is Preeti. I'm from the HR team and I'll be conducting the session today. So, as you all know, EPIS is being replaced by Ramco from the 1st of April. You'll all be receiving your login IDs and passwords on the 1st of April. So without wasting any further time, I think let's just start the training. So this is your Ramco screen. When you click on the URL that will be given to you on Monday, it will take you to this particular screen where you'll have to key in your username and password. So your username is your 5-digit employee code, and password will be given to you on Monday. So today I'll be taking you through the leave module, how to apply for leave. Then the travel module, I'll be taking you through reimbursement, and I'll be talking about the loan module, which is salary advance. And the last one is going to be resignation, how to initiate resignation. So let's get started. And the first step is to sign in to your Ramco account. So after you log into Ramco, this is what the home screen looks like. On the home screen, you will have 6 cards. So first is the employee appraisal card. Second is my leave, my expenses card, my travel, my performance, and my pay. So I'll be talking about the leave module first. In order to apply for leave, you'll have to click on manage leave. So before that, if you want to check your attendance, you can always do that on my attendance. Click on my attendance and it will show you your attendance for the entire month. Instances where there is no punch in or punch out time, it reflects as absent. And when you see this icon, it means you are on travel. When you see the L icon, it means you are on leave. So this is just the dummy data, and nothing has been captured here as yet. So when you log in, the timing shows as this. Here you see login at 9 o'clock in the morning and log out is at 5 o'clock. So this is just for your information. Okay, let's going back to leave. If you want to apply for leave, you can click on manage leave icon here, which takes you to the leave page. So this is the leave summary page where you see the number of leaves, leave balances that you have. So for this employee, we have 9 days of casual leave, 1 day of comp work, 26 privilege leave, and so on. You can also see your leave requests that were raised in the past, and you can see if they were authorized or rejected, or if they're still pending for authorization. So in order to apply for leave, you can either click on quick request or new request. Quick request is the one that has drop downs. You see here advanced privilege leave, casual leave, compensatory off, compensatory work, on duty, and privilege leave. So these are the kind of leaves that do not require any supporting documentation. So when I say supporting documentation, if an employee takes leave for more than 2.5 days, then they would have to submit a doctor's note. So, and also as an example, if an employee wants to either go on maternity leave, or another employee wants to go on paternity leave, or if there's a transfer leave, you need supporting documentation for all those kind of leaves. So all that is not listed on quick request. Click on new request and select type of leave here. For the training purpose, I am selecting casual leave. Select the start date. Select the end date. And you can also select the sessions here. Say, for example, on the 11th of April, I'll be off the whole day, and on 12th, I'll be off on the first session, and I'll return to work during the second session. So, and click on compute duration. So this shows how many days of leave I'm availing here. So it is 1.5 days because I'll be coming back in the second session. It's 1.5. And select the reason for your leave. I'm selecting it as personal. So as I told you, in case of sick leave or maternity, paternity, or transfer leave, you need supporting document. And here you will attach the supporting document. You just click on attach and then select the doctor's note. So after updation of the dates, you can click on submit request. So after this, an email is triggered to your reporting manager or your supervisor, who will then look at the leave data that you've applied for and then either authorize or reject the request. So in case you want to change the date of your leave, say you want to, for example, come back on the 11th itself, on the 12th morning itself, you just want to avail leave for 11th only. Change the end date to 11th, and this will be whole day. Click on compute duration again. So the duration has changed from 1.5 to 1 day now. And then you can click on update request. So keep in mind, you can only change the dates before your manager approves your leave request. Once your manager approves the request, there is no way for you to go back and change the date. And also keep in mind that you can only apply for leave 7 days backdated from the current date. Say you just went on leave, you couldn't let your manager know of it, and you did not get a chance to apply for leave online. So 7 days after your leave date, you can come back to work and then apply for the leave. If you're not able to do that, we have mobile applications for Ramco. So you can, easily log in from home or from wherever you are and apply for leave. Once you submit the request, when you click on pending for authorization create, you can see who the request is pending with. So this is the one that we created right now, and it is pending with the immediate supervisor, the reporting manager. So once your reporting manager approves the request, the status changes from pending to approved. Or if your manager rejects the request, the status changes to rejected. So that's about the leave request. Moving on. Okay, I'll be taking you through salary advance request now. So let's go back to the home page. Okay, so when you click on the menu on the top left corner of the screen, you have all these options, all these drop downs. Under that, click on loans and advances employee self-service, and apply for loan or advance. So please note, I'm sure all of you are aware that you can apply for salary advance only 4 times in a year. And the first time, it's 100% of your last month's withdrawn. And the next 3 times, it's 50% of the last month's withdrawn salary. So also, I'd like to stress on the point that there are no policy changes that is happening. Policies remain as is. Only the EPIS system is being moved to Ramco. So when you want to apply for a salary advance, application number will by default be new. And under the loan details, you'll have to select salary advance. So we are getting an error that an active application already exists for this employee. So as this is just a test environment, we've been doing a lot of testing. So I'll just show you. So again, when you click on the application number drop down, it gives you the old loan application that you've already applied for. So this is the loan amount that's been applied for, which is still pending, as this has not been authorized by the HR team. The employee is not being able to apply for a new salary advance. So all you have to do when you need a salary advance is just select the drop down as salary advance. In the loan amount section, you'll have to mention the amount that you're requesting for. And the desired number of principal installments is always 1. Mention 1 there and you just save the request. Once you click on save, an email is triggered to the HR team, which will then take the request further to the finance team, who will then credit the salary advance into the employee's bank account within 2 to 3 days. So that's about loans. I hope all are able to follow the training. If there are any questions, please feel free to write to either me or Shrikant or anybody from the HR team, and we'd be happy to help you. Also, Shrikant has sent you all an email yesterday regarding the e-modules. When you get a chance, please look at the e-modules. We have created detailed learning module for you guys with a voiceover. So it tells you exactly what needs to be done when you apply for leave or loan or reimbursement, you know. I hope that will be helpful for you guys. So let's move on. I will be talking about reimbursement now, the third module. So reimbursement is non-salary reimbursement. For example, if there's a local conveyance, or if there's a client visit, and if you have taken the client for lunch or dinner and you've paid the bill and you want to get that bill reimbursed. Or another example would be if you have paid a company's bill and you want to get that reimbursed, for example, electricity bill or whatever that might be. So those reimbursements fall under this module. So click on reimbursement, employee self-service, and submit expenses request. In this screen, change the payment to self and the expense category as all, and click on get details. So under expense item, when you click on select, in the drop down list, you have all these expenses that can be reimbursed. So just for the training purpose, I will select food allowance, and you'll have to select the expense bill period. We are in March right now, and I will select March. Incurred for self always. And it is mandatory that you mention the bill number. This is just an example. And date of the bill. From and to date. Mention the bill value and requested value. Bill value can be different from the requested value because as per TPML policy, we do not reimburse bills that are expenses that are used for alcohol, for example, you've taken a client for lunch or dinner and alcohol was included in that meal. And if the bill comes up to 1,000 rupees, we will only reimburse the value that was spent for food and not alcohol. So that's why, that's just as an example, I have taken here is 750 rupees. After this, you have to attach the bill here. It is important that you attach the bill, without which the system will not let you save this reimbursement request. So once you attach the bill, click on compute total expense amount. So the total requested amount is 750 rupees and total expense amount is again 750 rupees. So after this is done, you just have to click on save. So there's a notification that the request has been saved successfully. After this is done, click on submit. So once this is done, the request goes to your supervisor for approval. So the current process is that reimbursement requests are being approved by the HODs. So going forward, it's going to change to your supervisor. We are currently working on it. So after you submit the request, it goes to approval, and after your supervisor approves the request, it goes to the finance team, who then work on reimbursing the amount that you've spent. So that brings us to the end of reimbursement request. Okay, the fourth, it's a very small module. I'll be talking about resignation. So if an employee decides to resign, he or she will talk to their HODs. And after discussion with their HODs, they will log into Ramco and initiate their separation. So in order to do that, click on the top left corner of the screen. Under the drop-down, select Employee Induction, Employee Movements, and Initiate Employee Separation Self-Service. So when you do that, this screen will pop up where you will have to select the reason for your exit. So just for the training purpose, I'm selecting it as others. And request date is always today's date. This is taken by default by the system. Please do not change the request date. And the last available date is calculated by the system, and it takes into account your notice period. So you don't have to change any of these dates. All you have to do is select the employee reason. And if you want to provide additional comments as to why, why you are resigning, you can always key that here. Or if you want to attach your resignation letter, click on this icon here, and you can select your resignation letter and attach it here. So once this is done, click on Save Request and then Submit Request. So after you submit a request, you realize that either you want to change your date of resignation or you want to withdraw your date of resignation. You can always do that by logging into ESS, provided your HOD has not approved your separation. If the HOD has already authorized your separation, you can always write to the HR team and we will make the changes at the back end. So once you submit request, your HOD approves your resignation, post which the request comes to the HR team. So once the HR team verify all the details, they will initiate the exit interview. So once HR initiates the exit interview, you will receive a notification saying exit interview has been initiated. Once you receive the notification, you will have to fill an online exit form. So to do that, again, click on employee induction, employee movements, and click on exit interview. So it has 8 questions which you'll have to fill online. And once that is done, you can just save and submit the request, and the feedback will go directly to the HR team. So that's the end of resignation. It's pretty simple. All you have to do is follow the path: employee induction, employee movements, initiate employee separation self-service. And in this particular page, all you have to do is select the reason for your exit. And if needed, you can attach your resignation letter here under this column, and then save request and submit request. And when you get a notification that exit interview has been initiated by the HR, again, go back to employee induction, employee movements, and when you click on exit interview, it takes you to the interview page where you'll have to answer about 8 questions, and the feedback goes to the HR. So pretty simple. As I've already told you, we have made e-learning modules, and it has already been shared with all of you guys. So please make time and go through those modules, so it's easier for you to access Ramco or apply for leave, loan, etc. Okay, the last module that I'll be talking about is the travel module. So the travel is split into 2. Travel, first is the travel request, second is the travel settlement. So travel request is when you want to travel to a different location for either client meeting or project execution. So before you start the travel, you have to log into Ramco and raise a request, which is approved by your head of the department and then finance team. After you finish the travel, you can, if you want to settle the travel amount, you can always do that. I will show you the path that needs to be followed. So let's go to the home page. You can always initiate your travel request from the home page, from one of the cards I showed you at the beginning of the training. So this is where you initiate your travel request. In order to do that, click on Manage Travel. So this particular page shows you how many travel requests that are pending for approval, how many travel requests that have been approved by HOD and finance, how many requests were rejected, and how many expenses are pending approval, and for how many travel requests you have not raised the expense settlement. And it also shows you your previous travel here. If it is, you can also check the status here. This one says it's still pending for approval. This one says it's finance approved, and so on. So let's just, let's raise a travel request now. So click on New Request. Okay, so it takes you to this screen. Under employee details, you don't have to make any changes. All this is taken by system by default. It shows you your name, the position, and the work location, your supervisor's name, your supervisor code, etc. So when you are raising a travel request, under travel type, select domestic, select the purpose of travel. So right now we only have these 3 drop downs: client meeting, others, and project execution. We are looking at expanding this list. So we're working on it, and we should have the other travel purpose reasons soon. So until then, you can use others. If client meeting and project execution are not applicable to you, click on others. And please make sure you mention the reason, the purpose of your travel in this box here. So For the training purpose, I'm just mentioning it as NA. And cost center code is automatically taken by the system. Billable nature is always billable. So under travel details, you'll have to populate a few tabs. First one being from place, the place you're traveling from. Let's take it as Bangalore. And the place you're traveling to. I'll take it as Mysore. Date you're traveling. Let's say 8th. Let's say I have a two-day trip to Mysore. So I'll be traveling on the 8th and I'll be returning on the 9th of April. You can select the mode and class of travel. So this is again populated based on your eligibility only. The mode and class of travel is always based on your eligibility. And the trip type, is it one way or round trip? So I'll be selecting round trip here. So after you fill all these details, scroll down and click on Compute tab. So when you click on Compute, the system automatically calculates the amount that you're eligible for this particular travel to Mysore on a 2-day trip. So as per the system, I'm eligible for 6,860 rupees for this travel. So once that is done, you can scroll down and click on Save. Okay, so this is a bug that we are trying to fix where laundry expenses, it says laundry expenses are applicable only if the travel is beyond 2 days. So this is just a bug in the testing environment which we are working on. And okay, so as you all know, laundry expenses are only applicable if the travel is for more than 3 days. Right now it's just a 2-day travel, so I have made the laundry expenses as 0. So click on Compute again. So once again, after we go live, you will not have to do this. You'll not have to change the amount to 0. So this is just a bug that we're trying to fix right now. So once you clicked on Compute, you can scroll down and click on Save. So the travel request details are saved successfully. So after you do this, if you want to raise an advance request, a travel advance request, you can always do that by clicking here on this icon, advance request. So please keep in mind, if you submit the request after you click Compute, and if you submit the request, you will not be able to raise an advance. So please keep in mind, if you want to raise an advance, you only click on the Save button here and not submit. So let me show you how an advance request is raised. So click on this icon and type in the amount that you're requesting for, say 4,000, and select the mode of transfer to fund transfer. When you click on this plus icon here, this table below gives you the summary of the advance amount that you're requesting for. So after this is done, you can close the screen. So once you close the screen, if you scroll up to the top, it will show you the estimated cost for this particular trip and the advance amount that you're requesting for here. So after this is done, you can again click on Save and then click on the Submit button. So once you click on Submit, the request goes to the head of the department for approval. And you can see that here, if you scroll up, the status is pending for approval, and it also shows you who it is pending with. After this is done, the HOD either approves or rejects your travel request. The HOD also has the authority to make changes to the travel date. If the HOD thinks that 2-day travel is not required for this employee, then he can always change the due date to 8th of April here. So once that is done, the request is further moved on to the finance team, and finance team checks the estimated cost of the trip, the total advance amount that you've requested for, and based on that, they again have the authority to either approve or reject your travel request. So once you're done with the travel request, you can, on the top left corner of the screen, click on the menu and travel management, travel self-service, and travel expense settlement or approval. So right now, I'll not be talking about the travel expense settlement because we are still working on it. We have a few additional requirements from the finance team. We are currently working on it, and once we are ready with the module, we will release the e-module for you guys. And if you have any questions, please write back to us, and we'll be happy to help you all. So that brings us to the end of the travel ESS module. And it also brings us to the end of the online training. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to come back to us. Please feel free to look at all the e-modules that Mr. Srikanth has sent out last evening. And yeah, thank you all for your time. Thank you for making time for this training. And I hope you all, find it easy to access Ramco. And yeah, thank you all for your time.